Welcome back to another quick self-help video. Today, I'm going to give you some practical steps you need to follow in order to become rich. If you haven't already, I recommend you go watch my first video about this topic. It is important you do that before you watch this episode. The previous video helps you build your foundation by explaining the inner game you need to master in order to become wealthy. As we previously discussed, to become rich, you need to create a new identity of yourself. You need to change your limiting beliefs, and you need to have clarity of why you want to become rich by creating a life purpose. Whereas all that stuff focuses on the inner game you need to master, in this episode, we will approach this topic by giving you some practical steps which will help you become wealthy. Before we start discussing these steps, I must tell you that this is not a formula, nor a get-rich-quick scheme. What I'm going to tell you is what I believe most of the people need to actualize to get rich. You should prioritize these steps depending on your current life situation. You need to be able to identify where you need to improve yourself the most and work on that. Alright, let's discuss the actual steps now. Firstly, to become rich, you need to invest in yourself. You must become a valuable person. Here's how it works. As a general truth, people pay in exchange for what you have to offer. Let's assume you have a regular job and you are the department manager of a decent clothing store. In that case, you will be paid in exchange for your services and your time. Realize that your salary is higher in contrast with the salary of one of your cashiers. Because you have a leading position which demands more responsibilities, more stress, and more knowledge, you get paid in exchange for that. You get paid for what you know, for your ability to manage, and you get paid for your performances. Because you are one of the department managers, your place on the company's hierarchy is closer to the top, compared with your cashier. People who are closer to the top of the hierarchy get a better salary than the ones at the bottom. This logic is fairly simple. If you invest in yourself, you can offer more. Therefore, you get a better paycheck in exchange for your knowledge and your abilities. When I say invest in yourself, the kind of investment I am referring to is time and money. One must invest in time before anything else. Because it takes time to develop a new skill or to improve an actual ability, you need to be willing to invest your time. Only after you become really good at something, people will start to pay in exchange for your services. Going to seminars, reading books, and watching self-help YouTube videos are just a couple of ways how you can become more valuable. Strive to improve your skills and deliver great products or services to others. Personal development plays a vital role in this process because it helps you improve yourself. Offer more value to people around you, and that will make you a wealthier individual. The last thing worth to be mentioned about this idea is that knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes a power only when it is applied and directed towards your goal. You must learn how to organize and use knowledge after you acquire it. Consider that you are trying to improve yourself at managing people. You must learn the theory first, but if you fail to apply that theory in your daily life, the knowledge becomes useless. Do not underestimate this insight, as this has the power of transforming your life. Develop yourself, become a more valuable person, and your finances will improve. To become rich, you have to run your own business. The definition of richness is different for all of us. Depending on one's desires, needs, ambitions, and background, everyone has a different perspective of what it means to be rich. One might consider that earning over $100,000 a year means to be rich, while others would define being rich when they earn over $1 million a year. Depending on where you stand, becoming an entrepreneur is a must. Assuming most of you guys believe that being rich means to be a millionaire, I must say that most likely a regular job will not satisfy your desire. We are going to use the same analogy as before to illustrate this idea. So, considering that you are the department manager of a clothing store, there are a limited number of hours you can work per month. In this case, you get paid in exchange for the amount of hours you work. To earn more money, you have two options. 1. Work overtime and get paid for what you work extra. 2. Get a part-time job. Either way, you are limited by the amount of time you can work. Unless you have a really good job that pays you more than $1 million a year, you'll never become rich. The only solution that we are left with is that you become an entrepreneur. Being a business person allows you to create a passive income. That way, you are not limited by the amount of hours you are able to work per day. The passive income will generate profit no matter of where you are or what you are doing. This is a trick, however, as being an entrepreneur is not as easy as it sounds. Being a successful entrepreneur requires that you take risks. It requires you to tap into infinite intelligence, and it requires you to become more creative. If you want to find out more about becoming an entrepreneur, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now, as I'm going to release a video in the future which will explain in depth everything you need to know about becoming a successful entrepreneur. Moreover, to become rich, you need to understand how money works. You need to become better at managing your finances, and you need to learn how to properly invest your money. Mastering your emotions is mandatory in this equation. Imagine someone who earns a nice amount of money but is not good at mastering their emotions. That person could earn over $20,000 a month. In the same time, they could easily waste that money because they have a strong desire on purchasing the latest gadgets. Because they are not able to resist their desires, they cannot save the money to invest in a future opportunity. Learning how to properly manage your finances is mandatory. You could earn a very nice amount of money per month. If you are going to lose everything on gambling, that money is not an asset anymore. To say no to your desires is hard, but it is worth it. If you are wise enough to invest the money you have instead of spending it on satisfying your desires, you'll be able to multiply them. This means you have to make certain sacrifices, but remember, you make those sacrifices because you see the big picture and because you are future-oriented. Do not let yourself be led by your emotions, as most purchases are made this way. If you'd study marketing long enough, you'll be shocked to discover that the most effective marketers are good at selling their products because they know how to trigger your lowest emotions. They understand how the human mind works and what makes us irrational when it comes to purchasing products or services. Be smarter than that and stay aware of any traps that are laid in front of you. Be very careful when you spend your money and ask yourself 5 times before you want to buy something if you really need that thing. The truth is, you don't need most things you ever purchased. You only believe you need them. Save your money so you can invest in something profitable. As I mentioned before, a good investment you can start with is to purchase anything that would make you a more valuable person. That way, you invest in yourself. Don't be cheap when it comes to going to seminars, purchasing self-help books, online courses, and so forth. Be wise and make the right investments depending on your current situation. Lastly, to become rich, you need to change your environment and you need to spend time with qualitative people. This is important, no matter what you might think. I personally met some people who would argue that money will never change them. The truth is, you don't have to change because of the money, but you need to change before you make the money. A change is required if you want to become rich. If you fail to understand that point, you'll make things a lot harder for yourself. Do not make the mistake of not talking to your friends anymore or spending time with the people you love. Nobody is asking you to do that. What I am trying to tell you is that you must spend time with the people you admire, people who have something to teach you. Spending time with people who inspire you will bring you some massive benefits. You can learn from their mistakes, you can learn from their successes, and then you can come up with your own formula of how to do things right. Try to find people around who are successful and who are willing to share their experiences with you. To do that, it is required that you get out of your comfort zone. Your environment defines your personality. It is very common among humans to reciprocate the things others do around them. This is why spending time in a qualitative environment is a great thing you can start with. If you are an introvert and you don't like socializing that much, I recommend you read biographies of people you admire the most. Reading those biographies can help you get the insights you want regarding a certain thing. So, these are the practical steps for you to become rich. Identify where you need to improve yourself the most and become a valuable person. Study how money works and learn how to master your emotions. Get out of your comfort zone and change your environment. Learn from the people you admire and try to come up with your own formula of how to become rich. Because this process requires you to deepen your understanding, it requires that you become your greatest version. Stick with me because I can help you do that. It is not enough to watch only one video or to read only one book. To really get the juiciest rewards of this process, you must be patient. Subscribe to this channel right now and stay tuned for our weekly videos. Go ahead and write your comments down below if you have any questions. I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Thank you for watching this video, And if you find value in this content, remember to like and share this video. That would mean a lot to me. Check out our Instagram page and find your daily inspiration right there. Stay well, stay focused, and happy.